Xanax, generic name Alprazolam. It's a drug known as a benzodiazepine, and it's used mainly for anxiety. And we're going to talk about how it works. So this is a structure right here, and it acts on something known as a GABA receptor. So your brain has these neurons inside of it. Obviously, they're basically like wires that communicate, and these wires have different, let's say, antennas on them. And there's a particular GABA receptor is like a mini antenna on top of an antenna, and it can cause the signal to be weakened by allowing something known as chloride to enter the cell. The main antenna, and it has these little antennas on it, right? So you can think of this over here, which is your neuron, which are basically what your brain is made of, as having these, let's say, main antennas, and little small antennas on them. But in this case, these small antennas are microscopic. They're the receptors, if you think about it in the sense of an analogy, right? And basically, Xanax can cause the signal to go down, blunted arrow to show that on both sides, and then I put a sharp arrow to indicate plus charges entering when you drink coffee, because coffee is excitatory. All right? And too much coffee can make you anxious, right? And too much Xanax can cause drowsiness. I have these little circles that are sending messages, right? And in this particular case, these are what we call endogenous things, neurotransmitters, right? And what drugs do is they mimic the activity of neurotransmitters. All right, so there's natural things in our body like GABA that act similar to Xanax, but when you have imbalances, drugs can help balance that out by acting similar, right? So this structure right here, you can notice there's GABA binding site, there's a benzodiazepine binding site. So what the drug does, it's able to basically compensate for the decreased GABAergic activity. Hopefully that made sense. Thank you for listening. Oh yeah, this might be interesting to many people. There's also an ethanol binding site. Ethanol is alcohol that you drink. Alcohol can calm some people down, but it has a paradoxical effect where at low dose it's actually excitatory, and at a higher dose it becomes more inhibitory. So one drug is acting different at different dosages. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please send them in, and don't forget to please subscribe.